After leaving high school and college, my health and fitness was continually put aside. I would yo-yo diet, I would try the latest gimmick, and even buy multiple gym memberships, only to go for a week and then keep the membership because I felt I was giving up on myself if I canceled early. However, I was not really looking to take responsibility for myself and do whatever it took to honor God with how I cared for my physical health. Then one day, in August 2018, God led me to discover CrossFit. My name is Rick Walton. I'm a pastor and biblical counselor. I live in London, Ontario. So one reason I love CrossFit is that it gives me a vision for living life today. The functional fitness model, being ready for anything, converts into everyday practicality at home, work, and in the church. Before entering the CrossFit box, I park my car and pray to affirm my desire to present all of myself to the Lord as a living sacrifice, to honor the Lord with a view to total biblical fitness, and to train me to be prepared to face the day ahead. I'm preparing for the unknown and the unknowable, at least from my perspective. Whether I'm participating or cheering others on, the CrossFit workouts, competitions, and games become a living parable for me in following Jesus Christ. How does CrossFit become a living parable? Mark 12:30-31 speaks to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. I see this as my spiritual fitness. Your strength, I see this as my physical fitness. And love your neighbor as yourself, I see this as my community fitness. God engages all three of these aspects of total biblical fitness in my life at the CrossFit box. My inner person, those thoughts, emotions, and will, they're tested. My outer person, physically for sure, is tested. My relationships and community with those around me are tested. I can then gauge my total fitness by taking wise steps in training to become more prepared for each day. The Bible gives an illustration of athletic training to picture the Christian life. Paul said, "Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run in a way that you may obtain it." You see, athletes exercise self-control. They run with the purpose and direction. Paul says he disciplined his body to keep it under control. In another passage, he said, "Train yourself for godliness," in 1 Timothy 4:7. Literally, exercise for Christ-likeness. As a Christian, I need to train to be a kind of person that responds like Christ to the unknown and unknowable circumstances of life. Gospel transformation extends beyond my mere profession to seeing God's fingerprints at work in training me to be more like Christ today. Paul goes on to say, "Forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus." Every Christian is called to pursue total biblical fitness. God led me to participate in CrossFit and to be connected with a ministry of Faith RX to help me uncompartmentalize my life and pursue total biblical fitness. I pray that God will use my story to inspire others, and especially pastors and leaders, to authentically uncompartmentalize their lives too. You see, I lived believing a lie that I could sacrifice my physical fitness on the altar of caring for my family and ministry. But the lie blinded me to the dynamic interrelationship of the whole person God created me to be. It's been said self-leadership always precedes team leadership. As a pastor and biblical counselor, I set the example for others to follow after. Did you know 45% of pastors say they've experienced depression or burnout to the extent that it required them to take a leave of absence? 50% of pastors are obese. Clergy submit more health claims than the general population. Obesity combined with being overweight are the second leading cause of preventable death. This was the road I chose to travel by believing a lie and compartmentalizing an area of my life. I was 300 pounds in August of 2018. 5 years of kidney stones. Pain increased throughout my whole body. Everyday movements and endurance became a serious struggle. So yes, I'm thankful for God's personal correction in my life, to love me enough to do whatever it took to help me experience life as He designed it to be. Can you imagine what it would be like if more pastors and leaders were experiencing total biblical fitness? What would this kind of example model to others about total surrender and spiritual disciplines of one's life for Jesus? How would following this example of self-leadership, personal discipline, and love for God and others impact our families and ministries? This vision for living that God has used CrossFit to provide me with is this: a Christ-like person leads by example, by training to increase their preparedness to live like Jesus from the inside out. Each day I can choose to allow those circumstances that confront me to test the quality of my fitness to live like Jesus. Then, with the Spirit of God's help, I can adjust my training to mature in preparation for Christ-likeness. God indeed completes the work He began in me. 2 questions I leave with you. Are you compartmentalizing areas of your life and believing a lie? Are you training to increasingly be prepared to deal with whatever comes at you in a Christ-like manner from the inside out? We don't try to be like Jesus. We train to be like Jesus. I'm a husband and father. I'm a pastor and biblical counselor. And now I'm a CrossFit athlete.